to the jump-off of Agency Blueprint. We're diving deep into the intro of this whole vibe, breaking down what it's all about, its intent, and a whole lot more. This is what we're about to break down in this program. First up, we're talking the program's motive. Next, we're laying out a full picture of the program. Third, we got the essentials to keep in mind. And to wrap it all up, I'll show you how to secure those top-tier results with this program. So first on the list, let's talk program motive. Here's the usual scene. This might hit close to home for you, but there are various situations I've seen with folks jumping into this program. Maybe you're chained to that 9-to-5 grind, or perhaps you're deep in that college life. You're looking to dodge that 9-to-5 path, huh? Found yourself in a business model that ain't right for you. Maybe you've dabbled in other online hustles and they didn't pop off. You might have kicked off with a social media marketing agency, but growth's been a challenge. Or you've clocked that shifting to the e-commerce marketing agency game is the move. That's the blueprint we're diving into in this program. So whether you're tied to that 9-to-5 grind, or maybe you're caught up in a business model that ain't fitting right, or wherever you're at, this program's got you. 'Cause what's the end game we're aiming for? The end game's straight up. We're looking to kick off an e-commerce agency and lock in your first 1 to 3 e-commerce clients from any corner of the globe. That exact vibe, that precise aim is what this program's about to set you up for. So we're shifting from where we're at now to that end game, which is clear-cut. Launch an e-commerce agency and bag those first 1 to 3 e-commerce clients, no matter the spot on the map. So what's the motive behind this program? What's the aim of Agency Blueprint? Straight up. In this hustle, you're going to learn how to kick off an e-commerce agency and snag 1 to 3 top-tier e-commerce clients from any corner of the globe. No fluff, just the real deal. These tactics, they're certified. We've put them to the test, and trust, they deliver. It ain't just some knowledge we scooped from a book or a course we peeped. Now, we've been in the trenches with these moves. And it's from that hands-on grind, that real-world practice, that I've soaked up these gems I'm about to drop on you in this program. This program, it ain't about cramming your head with mad info. And here's why. From my experience coaching folks and just putting people onto game, I've clocked that it ain't really about how much data you're trying to pack into your brain. It's all about using that knowledge to secure the bag, to elevate, to hit that next wavelength. And the next level we're aiming for? That's where we're pulling in the paper with our hustle. The move with this agency vibe? It's about locking in clients. That's the straight-up target right now, no extras. Ain't about stressing over team expansion or plotting on how to upsell to those e-com clients. Just that. It's dead on what you're needing, setting up your e-com agency solid, positioning you to lock in clients, stack that paper with your hustle, and serve you that peace, that breath of fresh air. Then, once you're set, you can pivot to thinking about the bigger moves, like scaling up and expanding the crew and so on. It's exactly the boost you need to elevate. No fluff, straight to the point. That's the motive behind the program. How we laying out this program and ensuring you get there. How we setting things up so it's a surefire play to hit that goal. 8. So what's the lay of the land for this program? First off, we're diving into building a standout e-com agency. That monopoly agency vibe, I'm going to break that down for you. What's it all about and why it's a game changer? I'm also going to touch on putting together that A-team. I'll guide you on crafting that elite squad you can pass the reins to for service delivery. This way, you can channel most of your energy into locking in those top-tier e-com clients, securing the bag with your agency, and expanding. With that A-team on deck, you ensure top-notch service without breaking a sweat. Third module? That's centered on getting those e-com clients on lock. I'll lay out the organic moves to bag those first 1 to 3 e-com clients for your hustle. And for that extra touch, I got a bonus on deck. I'll put you on to closing deals without even breaking a sweat. So I'm going to hand over a certified script for those calls you'll be lining up organically for your agency. This way, you can lock in those clients on the spot and straight up get that paper right during the call. It's some real solid moves, and as you can tell, no fluff, just the straight goods. Exactly what's required to elevate and hit that phase where we're stacking paper with our hustle. That's the breakdown of the program. Now, let's chat about securing the backup and guidance you need to elevate. First up, that in-depth training. Just like this, whether you see it as a masterclass, a vid, however you label it, most of your questions will get addressed, down to the nitty-gritty, all through these training visuals. You gotta peep these visuals, run them back, and put in that work. It's crucial not just to view them, but to make moves based on these vids. Next up, we got resources and the plug-and-plays. Tied to most modules, there'll be some cheat sheets and plug-and-play tools waiting for you right under the vids. They're gonna lay it out for you step by step on how to make it all come together. You gotta make sure you get those downloads and really move on them. And don't even get me started on the community. It's filled with some real ones. If you ever feel lost, just tap into that circle. Reach out to us there. We got the answers you need. We will constantly be making sure we got your back on this journey. And the real beauty? Sometimes it ain't even me you need. Someone else from the community might jump in and have that answer for you on the spot. It's all love in the community. We got this whole community of people, all on the same vibe, all trying to elevate and do something major. That's what the winning community is all about. And the last piece? Dive into those conversations. Always remember that. It's crucial. You know how it is. Half the game is soaking up that content. But the other half? It's all about connecting with the people around you. Like, take schools for instance. I've never been too keen on that traditional education. The one thing schools got on lock is that whole community vibe. It's about those connections, hanging with friends, chilling during recess, those trips out of class. It gives you that feeling, like you're in it together. Yeah, even if the path feels a bit off, you never feel like you're solo in it. That community, it's real. That's probably why folks push through, get those grades, and do their thing in school. It's all about that feeling of unity, that sense that everyone's on the same wave, aiming for the same goal. And that's the vibe we're trying to bring online, you know? Crafting that community feel, ensuring no one's out here feeling alone on this journey. On the real, there are a couple things to touch on about the community. Feels redundant even bringing it up, but just to be clear, you know? First up, always make sure your actions speak louder than your words. This community's gold, and you'll come across some solid people on the way, but always prioritize getting the work done. Look, once you've locked in those first clients for your agency, that's when you can really start to dive deep into the networking and forming those genuine connections. But until you get there, it's all about putting in that work, you know? Still, don't get it twisted. It's all good to engage, post up in the community, ask those questions. That's all love. But work first, always. First and foremost, handle your business. Get that work in. Next up, no self-promo or spamming. Straight up, none of that is allowed. Feels like it shouldn't even need mentioning, but might as well lay it out there. You feel me? Now, this third point, crucial. Always lead with a giving hand before you reach out to take. You know? Don't be that person who's always on the asking end. If you're getting that guidance, that assistance, make sure you're also there to lend a hand when someone else needs it. It's all about that balance. And the last thing to lock in, keep it positive. Our community's a sanctuary, man. We lift each other up, stumble and rise again, score big and cheer each other on. It ain't a spot for those stuck in a negative loop, complaining or bringing that downer energy. Keep it 100 and positive. I'll keep it real with you. The journey? It's gonna have its downs, no question. If anyone paints it as this smooth sail to the top, they're playing games with you. There'll be hurdles, setbacks, but that's what makes this hustle so thrilling, you know? It's all part of the game. For real, it's not just about stacking paper and finding that freedom with your time and location. This grind, it's the realest personal growth journey you could ever embark on. It's gonna push you, challenge you, and you'll elevate in ways you couldn't even imagine before. That growth? It's unparalleled. Always remember to step into the room with a smile, you know? Even when the chips are down, don't let yourself fall into that cycle of negativity or those low vibes. Keep your energy high, stay focused, and rise above the noise. It's all about that mindset. Keep that space clean from negativity and always lift up those around you. Falling down? It's part of the game. But bouncing back? That's where the magic is. Now, diving into the main points to lock in. First, we got forging the sword. Let's talk about that. When I was speaking on embracing that resistance, you gotta realize that every time you choose to elevate, you're gonna meet a new kind of pushback. Think of it like a jet gearing up for takeoff, a rocket shooting for the stars, or like that blade getting shaped in the flames. The real growth? It comes from facing that resistance head on and pushing through. That's how you truly level up. When things get tough, take it as a sign you're on the right path. For real, one thing that changed the game for me early on was flipping the script. When things got tough and uncomfortable, instead of getting down about it, I started seeing it like, all right, this is me expanding, growing. If it's feeling like a challenge, it usually means you're evolving. If I'm feeling that discomfort, it's because I'm stepping out of what's familiar, pushing past those boundaries of what's easy. And anytime you venture outside of that comfort zone, you're bound to hit some pushback, some resistance. It might not be the coziest feeling, but it's a sign you're moving in the right direction. Keep pushing. That's why a lot of folks stay in their lane, you know? They chill in that same circle, never really pushing those boundaries, never really discovering what they're truly made of. But us? We're out here making that conscious choice to rise, to level up. We're in a different mindset. You're making the move to elevate, to bring a whole new layer to your life's narrative. And with that, there's bound to be some pushback. But it's all about embracing that, recognizing it as a sign you're on the up and up. And the next thing, no illusions or fairy tales. This program ain't about quick fixes or shortcuts to wealth. I know you're hip to that though. If you were looking for easy, you wouldn't be here. But let me tell you, while I don't buy into easy, I'm all about simple. The moves I'm about to put you on, they ain't complex theories or anything. They're straightforward, they've been tested, and trust me, they deliver. Man, nothing in life comes without a little grind. If something's feeling way too easy, almost too good, take a step back, because if it seems too good to be true, it usually is. I'm all in for things that are uncomplicated, but grounded in real results. Simple and proven, that's the way. This program is about handing you those keys, those tools and blueprints that'll stick with you for the long run. But remember, it's a two-way street. You gotta put in that effort on your side too. And as for taking control, where you're at right now, it's all shaped by the choices you made before, the paths you walked. Own that. Check those excuses at the entrance, man. Where you stand right now, that's on you. And the outcomes you get from this program, that's on you too. Now don't get it twisted. We've got a role to play in this too, a responsibility to deliver on my end. But we're in this together, all right? No doubt about that. Just gotta trust the process. Remember this, all right? The last piece? Stay committed to the grind. There'll be distractions, things trying to pull you every which way. But the real momentum? It comes from the work that pushes you ahead. What stands between you and what you're aiming for? It's that hustle, that dedication. Keep your eyes on the prize. Consistency is key, man. Every day, bit by bit, staying on that grind. Now, about that failure hat thing. It's a method we vibe with, both for those we guide and for myself. It's like a self-check, you know? Helps us see if we are just out here feeling sorry for ourselves, whining, or if we are keeping it real, staying genuine with what's going on. So you're wondering what's up with this failure hat and what it stands for, right? When you've got that hat on, it's a sign, man. It means you're slipping into that victim mentality, feeling like the world's against you. It's about recognizing when you're in that space and switching up the vibe. So when you're rocking that failure hat, you're basically moving in the same steps as those who've come up short. There's some telltale signs you're wearing that hat, walking that path towards falling off. It's a rare place to be, but you gotta be aware of it. First off, when you're talking more than you're making moves, that's a sign. Sometimes we mistake real progress with just vibing and chatting, thinking we're pushing ahead when we're really just staying in place. Now, don't get it twisted. Connecting with folks in the community is all good. Building those ties, it's important. But balance is key. You don't need a whole roster of connections and to be in every Facebook group out there. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Now, the next thing to watch out for? When you hit a wall or face a setback and you just fold. Bouncing back from rejection? That's crucial. Hitting a rejection and seeing it as the end game? Nah, that's not how it should be. Rejection? It's just part of the journey, not the finish line. The real ones, the ones who make it, they understand that. And being locked in only on the tactics without recognizing the mental game, that's missing a big piece. It's about the mindset, the perseverance, the vision. All of that inner drive, that's where it's really at. It ain't just about the playbook, it's about how you run the play, day in, day out. Pairing up those strategies with that day-to-day grind, that's the magic. I'll be laying out the steps, breaking it down for you, guiding you through the moves you need to make. So when you watch those videos, pay attention and bring that same energy into action. Just taking in the content but not making moves on it? Man, that's like running in place, not getting anywhere. Pointing fingers, making excuses, blaming the world. That's not the wave. You gotta own your journey. And thinking this path isn't cut out for you? Look, there have been so many success stories with this strategy. Every story, every win, that could be you in the mix. Don't count yourself out. But looking at all of the wins and thinking, this ain't for me, that's a mindset you gotta shift. Thinking we're on some different level, like we're from another world or something. Let me break it down for you. We're not built any different. We've all got the same 24 hours. It's all about how you use them. If they made it happen, believe you can too. This ain't just for those high flyers or some teenage crypto prodigies raking in billions. You've got that potential to win in this game. This path, it's set up for you. Don't second guess it, man. This is your moment. Trust in that. Everything in this program, you got it. It's all within reach. Hope that clicked. And one more thing, expecting some VIP treatment. This whole thing's been crafted to give you that detailed, spot-on guidance. But if you're sleeping on the community and then coming around asking for that one-on-one, that's not the move. You're wearing that failure cap. Keep it real. Stick to the plan. Keep this in your thoughts. Use these points to check if you're rolling in the right direction or slipping off track. Remember, we ain't putting on that failure hat. We ain't about that life. Falling? Not in our playbook. Now, here are a few signs to watch for, just to make sure we're aligned. I've peeped a couple mistakes out here, and when we get a grip on these, trust me, we're gonna soar. First off, that perfectionism? Gotta let it go. Ain't nothing perfect from the jump. It's all about that growth, making moves, progress, not perfection. Next up, it's about making those offers. In any hustle, your paper is tied to how many convos you're having with potential clients. If you're feeling like clients are slipping, hit me with how many offers you put out today, this week, or this month. You see where I'm going with this? The outcome you'll get is all about the moves you make. More offers you put out there, the closer you are to winning in this game. And waiting for the right time, that time is never gonna just show up. You gotta create it. Look, time? That's just something we made up. Dive in, even if the vibe feels off. Don't sleep on it. And all that overthinking and time spent on stuff that ain't moving you forward? I'll let you know where you shouldn't be hanging too long. I really suggest you take my advice to heart. Even if you're deep into designing that logo, if I tell you it should only be an hour thing, don't be out here spending days on it. Trust, I've been down that road before. I've watched others, my protégés, students, go through it all. So believe me when I say how long something should take, or when to move fast on something. I'm just saying, really hear me out when I give you my 2 cents. It's about not letting feelings cloud judgment. I get it. It's tough when you catch 3 rejections in a day, but you gotta step back, not get caught up in the feels, and just look at the bigger picture, the long-term stats. And one more thing, always trust your own instincts too. Keep that independent mindset. I ain't here to hold your hand through it all. So don't be that person who just puts it all on the coach. I've seen too many people jump into courses and play it that way. You gotta own your part in this journey. People be like, all right, it's on you to make me shine. Nah, you gotta step up and own it. And when I hand you a script or a blueprint, don't just copy it word for word. Put your own vibe into it, get creative, and make it authentically yours. Always keep your own mindset in the mix. Everyone's got their own flavor, their own story. We all got strengths and areas we gotta work on. But if you're not vibing with your strengths, that's a big miss. I've seen it too many times, especially in the online course world, where people just take what's handed and don't even put their own mark on it. Don't sleep on what makes you you. Pause for a sec, reflect. How can you make it more you? When you bring your own energy into it, That's when things really click. You're leaning into what sets you apart, your own way. Keep that in mind and watch out for those pitfalls. All right, last thing. If you're looking to really shine with this program, listen up. From checking out hundreds of the folks I've mentored, here's what stands out. First off, they come through with that student's hunger, that drive to learn every single day. The moment you think you've got it all figured out, that's when you start slipping. Second, these folks don't just warm up the bench. They're in the game, making moves. It ain't about getting caught up in their feelings or waiting for that spark of motivation. Nah, it's about discipline, the grind, and sticking to the playbook. And third, they got their ears open more than their mouths. They're taking in, absorbing, always ready to learn. They're tuned in, jotting things down, grinding, and when something isn't clear, they're up asking. Fourth, they're all about the numbers. They're keeping an ear to the street, feeling out what the scene's saying, and they tweak their moves based on that. Fifth, they're in it for the long haul. It ain't about those quick wins. They're steady, putting in work day in, day out, focused on that finish line. Their endurance and laser focus, that's what gets them lapping everyone else. They don't just handle the pressure, they thrive on it. They make major moves when everything's smooth, but man, when it's crunch time, when everything's heating up and stakes are high, that's when they really step up and shine. They've got patience on lock. They know that the grind they're in right now, it'll pay off in a couple months, maybe 60 to 90 days out. They ain't chasing that instant high. They know the real game is in the long term. That's where the legacy is built, where true greatness lies. Look, if these last few weeks haven't been showing you the gains you were hoping for, remember it's a journey, man. The effort you're putting in now, that's probably going to show up in the next couple of months. And if things aren't panning out right now, if you're feeling like you're off track, it's not just about today's moves. It's about the groundwork you laid out a while back. So keep that perspective and keep pushing. Yeah, today matters, but if we're being real, it's also about what went down a few months back. You feel me? It's about the moves, or the lack thereof, you made way back. Could be the last decade where some choices weren't made right. It's all connected. You've been sleeping on your own growth, man. Just like those bad habits, they stack up over time, painting a certain picture of your life, or anyone's life for that matter. But remember, those good habits, those right moves, they pile up too. It's all about the long game. And lastly, these folks, they cut out the noise. They starve those distractions and feed their focus. All that mainstream chatter, they're not about it. No news, no politics. They're not drowning in that social media whirlpool or any of that toxic vibe. They keep it clean, locked in on what really matters. They're laser focused, just doing the work. If you believe you can binge on YouTube for hours, scroll through Instagram, get lost on TikTok, and then turn around and crush it in the business game, I hate to be the one to say it, but that's just not going to happen. You gotta choose what's real. So, you gotta cut out those distractions, man. The more energy and time you pour into your hustle, the bigger the payoff. But I'm not saying you gotta grind 24/7, like putting in every waking hour. Just be smart with the time you do put in. It's all about that steady rhythm. I know folks who've embraced these methods while juggling a 9 to 5, or even being deep in their studies full time, but they make it count, because when they show up, they're 100% in. No distractions. That's the key. Last thing, let's talk patience for a second. Patience isn't just a virtue, man. It's essential. To paint the picture, think about Stephen King. Dude's first book got shut down by 30 publishers. Just let that sink in. Stephen King, he's top tier, one of the all-time greats. After all those setbacks, he's now got over 15 novels to his name and stands as a titan in the literary world. And Oprah? They tried to sideline her at 22. Look where she's at now. Oprah? She's the queen of TV, most iconic host we've ever seen. And Jay-Z couldn't catch a break with record labels at the start. Now, man's moved over 36 million records. And Disney? They told him he didn't have the spark, no imagination, no solid ideas. Just look at his legacy now. Goes to show, right? He ended up creating the most iconic entertainment empire the world's ever seen. And Jack Ma? Dude faced rejection left and right. Even KFC didn't want him. But look where he's standing now, behind the wheel of Alibaba, one of the global giants. Life's wild like that. You never know where the journey takes you. And J.K. Rowling? 12 publishers passed on her Harry Potter magic. But look around. Pretty much everyone knows the magic of Hogwarts and that whole world. Now she's sitting as the highest-earning author ever, touching the hearts and minds of millions. It's all about persistence and believing in your vision. I always like the idea that if they made it happen, why can't you? Every journey ain't a straight shot from the bottom to the top. I mean, you've heard these stories, right? And trust, I've witnessed similar paths with my own students. It's real out here, but it's all part of the grind. Every journey's got its own rhythm, man. Everyone's on their own path. So if your first win takes a bit longer than your buddies, it doesn't mean you're off track. It's not a sign to throw in the towel. Just stay true to your grind and trust the process. Things start to click when you mix patience with that consistent effort, especially when you're working with a blueprint that's solid. That wraps up this module. Time to get laser focused, get out there and make waves. Let's craft that e-com empire and start locking in those clients. Let's get it. I'm hyped about this journey we're on. No more waiting, let's dive into that next module and make things happen.